Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Again, thank you all for your willingness to serve, and like many of my colleagues here, I anticipate and hope that you're all confirmed and look forward to your additional service to this country. First, General Thurman, let me ask you if I can. I know the President has delayed the transition of the operational control in South Korea, I think, until 2015, and if you could give me some thoughts of your understanding of how this additional time will allow the U.S. and the Republic of South Korea to conduct a successful transfer. Can you give me kind of a feel? It's been delayed, but what does this mean?
Yes, sir, Senator. Based on what I've been briefed on, it was delayed until 2015. There has been a strategic alliance 2015 that was agreed upon by the two, our Secretary of Defense and the Minister of Defense. It was the two presidents that agreed to delay the OPCON transition. What I believe is this allows the Iraq military to continue to transform their efforts. They have several transformation efforts ongoing. They are a highly capable and competent force. What I've reviewed, there is a timeline and a set of well-defined milestones through the exercise program that will get us on the road to OPCON transition in 2015. If confirmed, I will review the Strategic Alliance 2015 and those milestones and work close with the Iraq chairman and the Iraq Minister of Defense and the Iraq military to help progress them along on that timeline.
Let me also ask you, I know you've heard a little bit of discussion. This is more of a kind of a yes or no, but if you want to expand, feel free. But the security concerns and fiscal realities that you've heard some questions already on the feasibility on tour normalization. Assuming confirmed, are you willing and obviously going to re-examine the plans for the tour normalization and how that all will work in the future?
Senator, if confirmed, I will review the overall concept of tour normalization. I'm well aware of the fiscal constraints we're under as a nation. I'm also aware of some of the proposed legislation that has been perhaps provided if the NDAA is approved, and I will work very close with the Department of Defense and this committee to make sure that that we're doing the right thing and make the recommendations.
Very good. Thank you very much, and I'll look forward to that as it progresses. And assuming we actually pass an authorization bill, that will be good, and it will have some guidance, hopefully. So thank you. If I can, Vice Admiral McRaven, this year the cold weather maritime training facility will be built in Kodiak, Alaska, which of course we would invite you to Kodiak, not in the summer, but in the winter. Yes, because that gives you great extra points, to be frank with you. But Kodiak is a great place. But how important, and this is more of a broad, you've answered this a little bit already through your conversation with other members, but how important is facility infrastructure investment really for the readiness that you need for your special ops?
Yes, sir. And I will tell you, the Kodiak cold weather training facility is a kind of a great topic to look at in terms of the effect on the operators and then, frankly, the rest of the infrastructure across SOF. But right now, when U.S. SOCOM was stood up, the legislation was passed in '86 and really kind of got going in '87. A lot of the military construction that was in place when the money flowed from the services, a lot of the recapitalization money for a number of the MILCON projects did not flow with that. So now, 24, almost 25 years into Special Operations Command, we have a number of facilities out there that are in need of repair, or in fact, we need new facilities. I know Admiral Olson has come forth in his posture hearing and made it clear that he is looking for additional support from Congress in order to recapitalize some of this infrastructure. As with any force, sir, I mean, our readiness is a direct reflection of the amount of equipment and infrastructure we have to do the job, to train with, both in garrison and forward. So the infrastructure is critical to our special operations operators.
As you review that, and again, assuming you get confirmed, I'm assuming you will share your analysis on kind of where those gaps are and kind of prioritize those based on funding. Sometimes around this place, the funding occurs based on who yells the loudest, but we want to look at, I guess my view would be, what's the most critical elements of infrastructure investment that's necessary for your operations to continue at the level you're at, plus obviously growing itself.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Thank you.
One other piece, and you had mentioned, I may be abbreviating this, you called it this something stress task force.
Yes, sir.
What's the timetable that you anticipate some results? And the reason I say this, for all the reasons, I want to echo what you said, and that is the readiness of our forces and the impacts on them as individuals and the families that are being impacted because of the amount of deployments and the speed. What's your timetable, do you think you might have?
Well, sir, the pressure on the task force that Admiral Olson has implemented has been in place for many months now. And again, they have gone around the country talking to the special operations operators and their families. Having said that, we have had a number of programs at all the units in place for quite some time. The units down to the 05 level, to the lieutenant colonel and the commander level, have programs supported by U.S. Special Operations Command to take care of the families and the operators. The real question, I think, for U.S. SOCOM is that enough? Mm-hmm. And I think as the pressure on the task force begins to look at what 10 years of fighting has done, we realize that the current programs are not enough. So we have a number of programs that are being implemented daily across the force, but we think based on the results coming back from this task force that we're going to need to apply additional resources to support the families and the soldiers.
Will you share that with us?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay. And my time is expired, but I want to end with one question to Lieutenant General Allen, and that is the whole issue of corruption in the Karzai government. You seem optimistic. I don't, to be very frank with you. It seems it's gotten worse. I was there a year and a half ago, maybe longer now, 2 years ago. Again, time flies around this place. But without solving the corruption issue from Karzai down, how are we ever going to get the system? I mean, you talk about reintegrating people back in, and I can't remember the exact, the peace reconciliation committees and the cash flow that goes through there. But the corruption is layer upon layer upon layer, generational upon generational upon generational. Give me some thoughts of how that's ever going to get resolved, because honestly, it seems like every dollar we send over there, everyone's taking a piece of it until it gets to the end, and there's very little then utilized for the services. And I will say it here, as I've said publicly, I think from Karzai government on down, he's not exempt from this. So give me your thoughts on how we're dealing with a corrupt government and a corrupt system. So there's the easy question for the day.
Thank you, Senator. It's a daunting problem, as you have indicated. But we're working closely with the institutions of government that are emerging, seeking to create patterns of conduct, systems of accountability, the process of responsible budgeting, the execution of the budget, accountability within the execution of the budget, in ways that can reduce these problems associated with corruption. It is an effort with which we will, if I'm confirmed as COM-ISAF, I will partner very, very closely with Ambassador Crocker in his efforts and his great civilian team. I'll work very closely with Ambassador Simon Gass, who's a senior civilian representative of NATO, and other elements within the interagency to do all that we can to build capacity which holds people accountable, that creates systems and provides mechanisms for predictability and accountability within the government. But it is a problem, Senator. You have correctly identified that as a difficulty, and corruption, of course, is corrosive to any democratic process and any hope of democracy. And so it is our very strong hope that in partnership with the Afghan government, we can get at this issue.
Thank you very much. And again, I want to thank all of you for your willing service to your families that I know are the backbone to your service. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Senator.